Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. It's your girl, Dominique Briscoe, always talking about hearing loss advocacy. I'm a big advocate for hearing loss. I have grown up in a family of hearing loss, and it has really showed me a world of how a hearing loss can either hold you back or push you forward. And luckily, I have been one that's chosen the latter, to be pushed forward. I'm making this video today because people tend to forget or they don't understand the difference between hard of hearing and deaf. And there's a huge difference. What's happened over the years truly is that the deaf community has really taken their stance and they have formed their identity, and I'm proud of that. But I am not deaf. Let's talk about what the differences are. I am hard of hearing. Under 90 decibels, if you're an audiologist, that clarifies you as hard of hearing. Over decibels is 90 is a deaf person. So decibels are how we count the amount of hearing. So we have to look at the degree of hearing that a person has. And if you're going to look at my degree of hearing, you also have to look at my lifestyles, my habits, my skills. Understand how the life of a deaf person is so very different from the life of a hard of hearing person. There's truly a difference. So this first video is going to be part of a major movement that I'm pushing forward for people to not assume and ascertain that I am deaf automatically, or that I have deaf family members or deaf friends. I do not communicate with the deaf community. I couldn't tell you what the deaf community needs. I am hard of hearing. I am lesser hearing, and I can tell you what they need. And I have many friends. So let's talk about that. In life, we have lifestyles, we have skills, we have habits. All of these things form how we operate in our lives. And you're talking about deaf, and you're talking about hard of hearing, and it's truly two different types of lifestyles. And I really want people to understand that. So let's go give us some clarity, a little bit of clarity. What is hard of hearing? Hard of hearing is socializing with other regular hearing people with minimal assistance based on your hearing level. So as a hard of hearing loss person, not deaf, I am able to socialize with people that have regular hearing. I'm also able to socialize with people that are hard of hearing. That is my population. That is my social circle. Those are my friends. And that is what a hard of hearing person is capable of. The skills they're capable of conversation. They're capable of work habits that require them to hear. They're capable of answering the phone at a job. It may be a little bit of pressure. They may feel a little bit of uncomfort, little bit of discomfort, but they can do it. That is the hearing loss, the hard of hearing. They also are able to do activities alone that might require hearing. They are able to go to a concert and understand things. They are able to sit in surroundings where no one is signing to them or accommodating them, and sit independently and be successful and progressive. And that's what I want people to understand when there's a big fly beside me, when they are looking at these different communities that that have a disability and are facing a loss. Their hard of hearing is totally different from the deaf. I actually was being considered for a job as a HOA/deaf community advisor, and I was so blown away because in all I wasn't considered because I didn't have ASL, and actually too because I'm not accustomed to working with the deaf community. When the truth is, The deaf community is not my community, and I don't do ASL. I read lips. I listen closely, and that is enough for me. That's enough for me. So that's my lifestyle, and that's a hard of hearing. And that is kind of, that situation is what has really probed me to create this video, because it's been a while since I've made a YouTube video, and I have to stop and think about, it takes time, but it's worth the effort, because I want to put that education out there. And I feel like this is an issue that I'm willing to push to my dying day, for people to understand the difference between hard of hearing and deaf. So I broke down hard of hearing to you. What is deaf? Deaf is with assistance, socializing with assistance. That means not being able to take in a conversation of regular people on your own. Socializing. And they usually do this within their own deaf community of other people who know sign language. People who are deaf do not read lips most of the time. They know sign language, and they socialize with other people who know sign language. So those are two totally separate communities. So I'm pushing that we recognize this, and that we understand that we can't put these two groups together that have two totally different lifestyles and think we're going to be productive in helping them or getting to know them or making progress, or helping them to make progress in their communities, helping them to be accommodated, to be into the regular flow of life. We're not going to be able to help them if we can't understand their needs, because my needs as a hard of hearing person is so different from the needs of a deaf person. Let me break it down. Let's talk about me just going to an event. Let's talk about if I were to go to an event. Let's say I was invited to a Kennedy Center for an opera. So I could go and I could hear and I could understand what was going on, and I could receive my own understanding through my mind and my ears. I could look around and I could observe what's going on around me. I may need a little bit of help. I may need to say, did they call us to go in yet and take our seats? Because I can't hear loud intercoms a lot, but I can hear someone next to me saying, they called us to go in and take our seat. Right? So let's talk about if a deaf person was invited to this same event at the Kennedy Center during an opera. First, an opera, they may not go because that's a hearing event. That is song, music. So I guess that's a little bit out of the core of what they would do. But let's talk about that. Let's talk about when they even get to that event, because there are many steps that lead up to events. Whether you're at a networking event, whether you're at a social hour, whether you're at a book club, wherever you are, there are steps to lead up. There's an order that has to be done. There's a process that runs an event. So could that deaf person hear someone say, I think it's time to go in? No. Someone would say, it's time to go in. Time to go. To go. Yeah, so that's not the same person that says, oh, it is time to go, right? They said it's time to go. That's not the same habit. That's not the same way. That's just not happening the same. And we have to clarify that for the people who do not live among hearing loss and deaf communities, and people that do not suffer from a hearing loss, because they don't know. I get asked a lot, do you have any deaf people in your family? Why would I have deaf people in my family if I'm hard of hearing, if I have a hearing loss? Or I get told a lot, well, it's okay that you are hard of hearing because at least you're not deaf. I want you to respect the level of hearing loss that I do have, though. It doesn't mean that, oh, well, at least you're not deaf. It means, oh, wow, what can I do for you because I know you don't hear like a regular person without hearing loss. That is what it is. So what is the overall view, the point of this video, and why am I going at this so hard? I'm going at it so hard because I need my community to stop being downplayed. I need the hard of hearing community to stop being downplayed. Like, what we're going through is, oh, well, at least, or, oh, you're not deaf, so you'll be okay. No, I need you to still make the accommodation. I need you to still understand that their level of hearing is low. Let's talk about how a hearing loss person hears. Let's say if you're sitting in front of a TV and you turned it up to 30 and it just would not come off of 12. It just won't come off of 12. So that's how I wake up in the morning. That's my hearing when I get out of bed. My hearing aids give me a speaker in my ear which takes me to that 30, if that makes sense. So that's what a hearing loss is. It's the loss. It's the lack. It's low volume hearing. It's also low volume hearing that causes mispronunciation. Someone might say, that's a tool. And I might think they're saying, that's cool. But they may say, that's a tool. So a hearing loss person is so focused on trying to make sure they don't miss anything and adapting to how they hear that sometimes in the midst they don't get it perfect and they don't hear the beginning or end or something that's pronounced in a word that will make it total difference of it all. Or a person who talks very low like this. Yes, I do. I really think that. You're killing me. So that is what a hearing loss person is. But a deaf D-E-A-F, deaf person uses sign language. Yes, no, is all I know. And that is only because, yes and no, that's all that I know. And that's only because I've taken the time in college to take beginner's ASL. I know some other things, I know some other things, but I don't use it prominently in my life because those people around me don't use it. The people around me don't use it, so why would I use it? I'm socialized within the regular hearing people. Deaf people socialize in their communities because they have made this language that they understand that gives them the ability to communicate with each other. That is what's happening. That is the best breakdown that I can give you. And so I hope that you all share this video out. I hope some people will hit like and subscribe on this channel. My channel is not about growing it. It's about those people who truly can use it. So if you know someone who's someone who's lost some hearing but they're not deaf, this would be a great video for them because they could see how to not designate themselves as deaf. I'm not downplaying the deaf community. My heart is with you as you have a loss just like me. But I'm saying that to the extent that I am able to hear, I am going to hear. And to the extent that I've been blessed with hearing, I'm going to use that. And I'm saying anyone that only has a hearing loss and they are hard of hearing, let's talk about how to do that. Let's talk about how to be happy in a hard of hearing stance. Do not give yourself over or decide that you're going to go learn sign language and totally mute your ears. Because I have had situations in my life where I felt like my hearing was declining, but sometimes it's mentally within you, and your hearing may not even be declining. You may just be thinking the worst. So what's the best way to overcome things like that? Circles. Circles and friends. And thank goodness my book is now out. And you can go to my website, DominiqueBriscoe.com, and you can order that book. And the book is listen, struggle, repeat. Step Up Life with Hearing Loss. In fact, I'll make sure that I put the link into the area below, and you'll be able to click on it right there and buy it. Hard of hearing people, I need you to still operate in your ability and not focus so much on your disability, inability, because it's there. But you have to strategize. You have to be smart and think about, how am I going to do this? How am I going to be productive? And what could be the way that I could reach my full potential even while harboring this? How to not let this become the best of me, and how to really, really work to make this air conditioner unit. How to really work to make my life work even with the hearing loss. So I encourage you guys to hit that link below and get the book. But most importantly, I encourage you, if you have a hearing loss or you know someone who struggles with the hearing loss, to hit like on the link below. And I encourage you to also share out the video. Lifestyles, habits, skills are also different when we are hard of hearing in comparison to a deaf person. What is a hard of hearing person? A person who socializes with a hearing loss with other people who have no hearing loss, and they need assistance based on their level of hearing. That's it. A deaf person is one who does require assistance within the regular hearing community and does not usually socialize a lot outside of the deaf community. So just be careful with that, guys, and I'm hoping that I have not offended any deaf person today, but I just think that it's time for us within the hard of hearing community to really step away and claim that separate identity, because if you were in front of a hard of hearing person and a deaf person, who are you going to help? That's not a hard question. You're probably going to help the person with the most severe loss, and that's okay. But when we aren't categorized and grouped together by it, we aren't automatically compared. I don't like that. I want to be seen as my own. If you're in my life and you're a regular hearing person, I want you to understand that I can socialize with you, that I may need some assistance, but you don't have to speak sign language to me, and I don't have to know it, and that's not even my population or community. I want you to know that, and I want you to be educated to that extent, because it can really be offensive sometimes, and I don't want my hearing loss community going through that. I don't want my hearing loss community to be asked, do you sign? No, I don't sign because I don't need it, because I read lips, and my hearing loss is not that severe. So there's a difference in severity levels with hard of hearing and deaf. I just want people to understand that. Okay? Take it away, guys. I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful day. I hope that this message reaches someone and helps someone. But as for now, I'll be out, and enjoy your day. Help the next hard of hearing loss person. Love the deaf community, and just, if you know people who have hearing losses, please advocate for them. Ask them if they need assistance. Sometimes with hearing loss people, they tend to downplay it so much, but they really do need the assistance. I'll say that. If you have the time and the heart to say, hey, I can sit here with you so you can understand what the speaker is saying, because we're sitting far back. Love you for that. I love you for that. Have a wonderful day. Bye.